Imagine waking up one day and all the digital infrastructure we've come to rely on has vanished. Would you be prepared for a digital doomsday? The thought may seem far-fetched to some, but consider this: our world is increasingly dependent on digital technology. We navigate with GPS, communicate through the internet, rely on digital banking, and even use digital tools in our daily jobs and hobbies. Now imagine all of it suddenly disappearing. What then? We're not just talking about a temporary power outage or a broken phone here, we're discussing the possibility of a digital doomsday. A scenario where digital infrastructure and connectivity may be severely compromised or entirely unavailable. And this isn't some science fiction concept. Cyber attacks, solar flares, electromagnetic pulses, or other catastrophic events could potentially disrupt or destroy our digital lifelines. In such a situation, the conveniences we've come to take for granted would vanish. No more Google Maps to guide your way, no more instant messaging to check on your loved ones, no more online banking to pay for your groceries. Life as we know it would be fundamentally altered. But this isn't a cause for panic, it's a call to preparation. It's about acknowledging the potential risks and taking a proactive approach to safeguard our survival and well-being. And preparation isn't just about hoarding canned goods or digging a bunker in the backyard, it's about building a comprehensive plan that addresses not just our technological dependencies, but also considers the social, economic, and psychological impacts of such an event. Prepping for a digital doomsday entails a multifaceted approach. It involves backing up and storing crucial data, finding communication alternatives, generating and storing power, acquiring water filtration and purification knowledge, stockpiling food, learning to navigate without GPS, assembling a first aid kit, keeping physical cash, enhancing security measures, building a supportive community, acquiring manual skills, maintaining mental health, and building a library of knowledge. So are you prepared? If not, it's time to start thinking about how you can equip yourself for a potential digital doomsday. Because in the end, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving, regardless of the circumstances. Let's explore some key considerations for preparing for such an event. First and foremost, think about your data, important documents, photos, and contacts. In a world where digital infrastructure is compromised, we need to plan for the preservation of our most vital information. The key is to back up your data in ways that don't rely on the internet. This could mean printing out important documents and photos, or saving them on electronic devices that aren't connected to the web. It's like building a digital time capsule that doesn't need Wi-Fi to open. Now imagine a scenario involving electromagnetic pulses, or EMPs. These can potentially wipe out electronic data, so we must consider EMP-proof storage solutions. These can shield your electronic backups from the damaging effects of an EMP, keeping your data safe and sound. It's a bit like building a digital fortress to protect your precious information. Securing your data is the first step towards digital doomsday preparedness. Communication is vital. In a world without digital networks, what alternatives do we have? Well, there are quite a few options to consider. First, let's talk about two-way radios. These handy devices allow direct communication between users within a certain range, making them perfect for keeping in touch with family members or neighbors. Next up, we have satellite phones. These gadgets use satellites to send and receive calls, so they don't rely on terrestrial cell networks. In a pinch, they can be your lifeline to the outside world. And let's not forget about the good old CB radio. Citizens Band radios, or CB radios as we know them, have been a reliable communication tool for decades. They're especially useful for reaching out to emergency services or other people in your area. So even in a world without digital networks, you're not lost for words. Having a communication plan in place is an essential part of your preparation. Without the grid, how will we power our devices? Let's explore our options. Picture a world without the convenience of simply plugging your device into a wall socket. That's the reality in the aftermath of a digital doomsday event. But not all hope is lost. There are alternative power sources that can keep your essential devices running. Solar panels absorb the sun's energy throughout the day, providing a renewable source of power. Wind turbines harness the power of the wind, another renewable and plentiful resource. Generators, on the other hand, offer a more traditional power source, running on fuel like diesel or propane. Now what about electromagnetic pulses, or EMPs? These could potentially fry your electronics, so it's crucial to EMP-proof your power generation and storage systems. There are protective cases and enclosures designed for this very purpose. Powering your devices in a digital doomsday scenario will ensure you remain connected. Survival skills become paramount when digital resources are inaccessible. let's delve into what you need to know. Imagine a world where the convenience of digital technology is stripped away. Suddenly, the ability to purify and filter water becomes a critical skill. Without access to digital resources, knowing how to manually filter water could be a lifesaver. Simple tools like water filters, purification tablets, or even a good old-fashioned boiling pot can help ensure a safe water supply. Next, we look at food storage and preservation. With digital disruption, there's a high chance that supply chains will be affected. This is where stockpiling non-perishable food items and mastering traditional food preservation methods like canning, drying, and smoking comes into play. Remember, it's not just about having food, it's about making sure it lasts. Then, we come to the art of navigation. Digital maps might become obsolete, so having physical maps of your local area, state, and country, along with a compass is crucial. Knowing how to read these maps and use a compass could be the difference between being lost and finding your way to safety. When it comes to medical supplies and first aid, a comprehensive kit is a must-have. But it's not enough to just have the supplies. You need to know how to use them. Training in first aid practices, including how to treat common injuries and illnesses, could save a life when digital assistance isn't available. Lastly, let's talk about manual tools and skills. In a world without electricity or digital tools, manual tools for gardening, woodworking, and other essential tasks will be invaluable. More importantly, learning the skills to use these tools effectively is a must. In essence, preparing for a digital doomsday means going back to basics, honing skills that our ancestors relied on, and becoming self-reliant. It's about knowing how to survive with what you have and making the most of it. Mastering these survival skills will increase your chances of making it through a digital doomsday. A digital doomsday isn't just about technology. It has social, economic, and psychological implications too. In the midst of a digital blackout, our usual ways of doing things will shift drastically. For instance, digital banking and online transactions might become a thing of the past. In such a scenario, physical cash and barter items will take center stage. Keeping a reserve of cash, as well as items that can be bartered, like batteries or even alcohol, could become essential for purchasing goods and services. Next, let's consider security. When the digital world takes a pause, physical security becomes paramount. It's not just about protecting your home and property, but also about ensuring personal safety. This might involve reinforcing your home's security or even learning self-defense techniques. Firearms training could also be a consideration, but remember, safety first. Community building is another vital aspect. In trying times, leaning on each other for support becomes crucial. Establishing a network of like-minded individuals and community members can provide mutual assistance. By pooling skills and resources and working together, we can significantly increase our chances of survival. But what about our mental health? The psychological impact of a digital doomsday can't be underestimated. Stress management techniques become invaluable, along with entertainment options that don't require digital devices. In such times, maintaining mental health becomes as important as ensuring physical survival. Lastly, let's not forget the importance of knowledge and education. Building a library of physical books on survival skills, local flora and fauna, medical reference, and DIY projects can be a real lifesaver. Knowledge, in this situation, becomes just as crucial as physical supplies. In conclusion, preparing for a digital doomsday isn't just about stocking up on food, water, and batteries. It's about understanding the broader implications and preparing for them. It's about fostering a sense of community, safeguarding our mental health, and fortifying our knowledge base. Preparing for a digital doomsday is a multifaceted task, but with the right preparation you can weather the storm. Preparation is key when facing a digital doomsday. We've walked you through the essentials, from data backup and storage to alternative communication methods. We've emphasized the importance of power generation and storage, along with knowledge of survival skills like water filtration and food preservation. We've discussed the need for physical maps and first aid supplies, as well as the importance of having physical cash and barter items on hand. We've also underscored the need for strong security measures, community building, and a set of manual tools and skills. We haven't forgotten about mental health and well-being, which are just as crucial in times of crisis. And lastly, we've highlighted the importance of knowledge and education, because in a world without digital resources, knowledge truly is power. With these considerations in mind, you're well on your way to preparing for a digital doomsday. Remember, it's better to be prepared and not need it than to need it and not be prepared.